Look closely at the human eye. Beneath the surface of conscious control, the brain's internal motor systems are constantly sending rapid, unseen misfires down through the musculature of the face. If you've ever walked away from a corporate negotiation feeling like certain terms were hidden, or interviewed a suspect who seemed perfectly calm while lying to your face, you experienced the gap between what someone says and what their biology actually reveals. Relying on traditional signs of deception, like fidgeting or sweating or breaking eye contact, results in an accuracy rate of about 54%. Catching a liar by watching them wring their hands is statistically equivalent to flipping a coin. To accurately spot deception, you have to bypass conscious behavior and look at the extrapyramidal system. This is a subcortical motor pathway in the brain that reacts instantly to emotional triggers. Because it bypasses conscious control entirely, a person cannot inhibit the muscle movements it initiates. When a person experiences a true emotion, but consciously tries to hide it, this neural pathway causes a microexpression. These involuntary facial flashes happen in 1/25th to 1/5 of a second. They appear and vanish faster than a human blink. Extracting the truth in high-stakes environments requires moving past popular body language myths. You have to train your eye to read the raw, involuntary data leaking across the face. Look at this busy airport terminal. Mass transit hubs and board shipments are inherently chaotic. The triple here operate under high stakes, dealing with legacy issues, strict time constraints, and dense crowds. An observer assumes that outward anxiety equals malintent. They commit the Othello Error. This occurs when an investigator misinterprets the genuine stress of an innocent person as proof of a lie. This image shows TSA officers conducting visual screening at a checkpoint. If they rely on macro behaviors, flagging someone for heavy sweating or looking down, they will routinely flag innocent travelers who are simply intimidated or terrified of missing their flight. Step 1 in our framework is to stop looking for general nervousness. Instead, you must watch the face for specific, fleeting micro-expressions that directly contradict the words the subject is speaking. Assuming guilt based on environmental stress generates false positives. Objective screening means isolating the exact facial leakage that breaks the spoken narratives. Let's apply this to the corporate boardroom. Executives are highly conditioned to project false beliefs, actively masking their true intentions to protect their bottom line and secure leverage. This diagram illustrates step 2, verifying the yes fuss. Authentic happiness requires involuntary contraction of the Orbicularis Oculi muscles, movements absent in a polite smile. Look for smile backs under the lower eyelids and crow's feet wrinkling at the outer corners. If your counterpart verbally agrees to a contract modification, that their face does not display these upper zone markers, you face in a false positive. Their words are saying yes, but their biology is preparing an objection. This graphic shows step 3, spotting the no face. This micro-expression of disgust fires automatically when a counterpart finds your proposal toxic. Watch for a scrunched nose and elevated upper lip. Pushing yield forward now guarantees passive-aggressive sabotage. Relying on a fake yes or making a hit no leads to collapsed no she shows. True consensus is signed at the corners of the eyes, not at the mouth. Step 4 applies to criminal interviews, where suspects actively manipulate an investigator's narrative, and the stakes are life and death. Pathological liars and psychopaths do not process standard guilt. Instead, they experience duping delight, a sense of gratification surfacing when they believe they are successfully deceiving an authority figure. This cognitive arousal is so strong that it short-circuits their conscious attempt to look innocent. The thrill leaks out through the extrapyramidal system as a micro-expression of contempt. Contempt has a distinct anatomical signature. It is the only universal emotion that is asymmetrical, appearing as a unilateral smirk where just one corner of the lip is tightened and raised. Look closely at this image of convicted killer Chris Watts during a public play. His son is acted efforts to construct a facade of a grieving father. His sense of superiority fractures the mask. The tension and slit raise at the corner of the mouth betray his true internal fade. Identifying the smirk of duping delight, excuses receptive minds and arrogance. Obsessive with the subject is attempting to appear innocent. To read the face accurately, affright its biological blueprint. Filter emeriment stress to avoid the Othello Error. Verify the essays. Catch the nofes. And watch for the asymmetrical smirk of grouping delight. Isolating these muscular contractions provides a biological manuscript of intent.
These high-speed data
points move your analysis of art the unreliability of assuming intuition. Try this free. Televised interview or high-stakes emotion and moot the vine. Watch the
faces.
Attempt to spot the biological leakage. Note the distractions.
Words.
Reading microexpressions is a highly perishable skill that requires systemic, repetitive practice. Subscribe to the channel and download the facial action checklist in the description below to keep your visual training sharp. Spoken words provide a polished draft, but the silent lexicon of microexpressions reveals the underlying reality, turning a passive listener into an active